Well, hey everybody, John Rethlin here, and this is my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Best of Super Juniors 26 Night 12 event. Second to last night of B-Block action. We know who the two finalists are going to be, so that and the rest of the tournament matches for B-Block will take place on the 3rd. Rest of the A-Block matches, including the two finalists, that will take place on the 31st. So I will be reviewing both of those. The 31st review may be on delay, same with the 3rd, but I will be reviewing those, and I will obviously be reviewing the finals. So A-Block, B-Block finalists will face off on the 5th. Whoever wins that will face off against Dragon Lee for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship at Dominion just a few days later. After the Dominion review, I may not be reviewing anything from New Japan until the G1 starts. If the Kazuna Road cards look good, maybe I'll review them, but I can't promise anything because I may just need a bit of a break. I wish that they would be showing the Australian shows live. Maybe they'll do them on VOD at some point because I'd like to review those. But, we'll see. But I just wanted to update you guys just in case you think the New Japan reviews are going away. Nope, far from it. May just need a couple-week break. Anyway, Kevin Kelly, Gino Gambino on commentary. Gino, I'm not really sold on Gino on commentary. He obviously knows his shit. I'm just not sold on him. But we get Toa Henare, Jonathan Gresham, and Teton versus Sho, Tiger Mask, and Yota. Mainly hype for the four respective tournament participants facing off, in their respective matches tomorrow. But Henare and Yota having some good exchanges here as well. Sho and Gresham, they had some nice moves and everything. It would be nice to see them have a little bit of a program, but I know Gresham's in Ring of Honor, so that's probably not going to happen. But I would actually like to see it. I think their styles will work well together. Henare and Yota were the two legal guys in the ring at the end. Big headbutt by Henare and a Uranagi 1-2-3. Henare winning a match. I'm very glad to see that because usually Henare is on the losing end. Which I get. I'm not saying the guy needs to be rocketed up to the main event, but it's just I see big things in him, and I think that his hard work is paying off. I would like to see him in the G1. So I'm not saying he has to win more than a couple matches, but I just would like to see Henare in the G1. I think his hard work should be rewarded. So yeah, Henare pins Yota. I wouldn't mind seeing a program between them after Yota comes back from excursion. That would certainly be interesting. We then get Tomohiro Ishii and Shota versus Taichi and Kanemaru. Shota took the pin here, obviously. Ishii and Taichi hype, was the main focus here since they're going to be facing off for the never openweight title that Taichi possesses soon after this in a few days. And I enjoyed it, but it was kind of a basic match. You did get, Shota got beat up quite a bit outside. He did get back in hitting some moves after Taichi and Ishii had a bit of a battle. But in the end, Deep Impact off the ropes pins Shota while Ishii is being choked outside by a mic cord and everything. So that's just a way to hype up that match. And Shota takes a pin. I'm really interested to see what Shota's going to do a year from now because they obviously had high hopes on him or, saw big things in him by having him face Tanahashi in the first round of the New Japan Cup. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. Then we get Juice Robinson Juice Robinson and Dragon Lee. Though Juice Robinson versus Dragon Lee would actually be interesting. Versus Marty Scurll and Brody King. Gee, I wonder what the fuck this was. It was Lee... Mainly Lee and Scurll hype since they're going to be facing off tomorrow. Brody King, by the way, flat out ridiculous how he can pull off some agile maneuvers despite being such a big guy. Brody, his fucking agility is ridiculous. I've seen the guy live. He's absolutely ridiculous. You get a chance to see Brody King live, please do so. Left-handed God and Pulp Friction pins Brody King for the 1-2-3. And we're building to Juice versus Jon Moxley on the 5th. I never thought I'd be saying that a few months ago. But good on Moxley, good on Moxley. Ambrose, in other words, Dean Ambrose. Good on Ambrose, getting back to being Moxley and going out and doing his own goddamn thing. It's gonna be great to see him in AEW and hopefully some shots in New Japan like Jericho's doing. That's gonna be great stuff. We then get Ishimori and Gato versus Shingo and Naito. Ishimori and Shingo have the most points out of anybody. It's 16 for Shingo and 14 for Ishimori since he's suffered one defeat. But the thing is, if Ishimori wins, even though they'll be tied, Ishimori will have he'll have the tiebreaker. But this is a tag match, so yeah. Ishimori and Gato versus Shingo and Naito. It was outside in the crowd for quite a bit. You did get Naito getting beat up. Shingo got back in. And of course, Gato was the one that took the pin. There was a big old pumping bomber clothesline, and then Naito got a roll up 1-2-3. I'm excited for Ishimori versus Shingo. I think Shingo's going to win because, honestly, I don't think that Ishimori needs to be in the finals again. Because he was in the finals last year against Hiromu, and Hiromu won. Ishimori did become champion of Wrestle Kingdom. Yes, he lost his G1 Supercard. You could make the argument that maybe Ishimori should get the title back. But I don't think they're going to go that route. And I wouldn't complain if Ishimori won. I would just be a bit surprised if they went this far with Shingo and didn't follow through with it and have him lose like Dominion or something like that. Because I think that he's going to win. I think he's winning the Best of Super Juniors. I'd be shocked if he didn't. And then we get B block action beginning, 5 matches. And, as opposed to 4 in A block because Taka Michinoku's out with an injury. Yo versus Ren Narita. Good stuff. Narita has really shined. This is probably he's really actually shined about every tournament match he's had. This is pretty much the closest he's come to getting victories. Maybe besides the match with Ospreay. I mean, that match with Bandido was pretty good. Like, Narita, the matches haven't been too long, but they've been pretty damn good. Some really heavy strikes and knee focus by Sho, which came back into play later, even though Narita kept coming back. It does a nice rolling cloverleaf and everything. That's a really beautiful maneuver. As this guy advances in his career, he's going to do some great stuff. Really close near falls. I mean, he tried for the high gable grip, but, did the throw, but didn't do the bridge. Which that bridge, and they're telling the story of if he can get the bridge after doing the throw, nobody can kick out of it. He hasn't been able to hit the bridge. But he's been able to hit that throw. So that's a good story. It's like, how they're kind of protecting some finishes, or finishers in Japan. But in the end, calf crusher by Yo. Taps out Narita. There's a show of respect where, Narita kind of slaps his hand, like, yeah, but I'm pissed off I lost. And that was good story. That was good storytelling. I did enjoy that one. And then we get Robbie Eagles versus Bandido. I was a bit surprised by this. I was a bit surprised by how this happened because Eagles diving early, Bandido, Bandido with a tornado. Yeah, try saying that 3 times fast. I could barely think of it once. Pop-up cutter by Bandido, some really good exchanges. There was a lot of really good shit with this. I don't know if I'd put this on my favorite matches of the tournament list, though I'm probably going to have to look through the results and really come up with a list. Probably sometime after Dominion. I might come up with it right after the Best of Super Juniors finals. In fact, I might just do that on Friday, like the 7th and stuff like that. Or Saturday. We'll see. But anyway, Eagles did a Poison Rana. Please stop doing the Poison Ranas, please. I don't want anybody to fucking die. We get a nice reverse fall-away slam off the top. And that pins Eagles for the 1, 2, 3. Eagles is pretty much done. He's mathematically still in it, but he's not. I mean, because even though he owns a tiebreaker over Ospreay, he's not going to win it. He's just not going to because of what happens later in the tournament. Or later in the night. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this match. So I may come up with the top 20 because they did more matches for this tournament. So I'll, come up with that and then, figure out where I'm going to place them. But it's been a good amount of tournament matches. There have been some that have been misses, but for the most part, I'd say 85-90% of it have been hits. Then we get Bushi and Rocky Romero in a Black Tiger mask because that was one of the personas that Rocky Romero donned while in New Japan. I enjoyed this. There's a lot of history because I guess apparently, and this is somebody had to tell me in the comments on one of the videos, and also somebody, one of my friends on Facebook had to tell me that Bushi apparently knocked the fact that so many Americans were being brought over to be junior heavyweight, or for the junior heavyweight division when there were plenty of good ones in Japan. And I don't know if he meant it as such an insult or if he just meant that he wanted Japan to be focused on, but it apparently has been part of the reason why Rocky hates Bushi. Rocky has the mask. He takes out the mask and spits mist right at Bushi. And he goes for something. Well, then Bushi ends up hitting a dive soon after. No selling the goddamn mist, but whatever. Heavy chops, strikes, a DDT on the apron. As we know, the hardest part of the ring. An armbar by Rocky, which Bushi gets out of by biting the leg of Rocky. That's one way to do it. I don't know why other people don't think that. This one was a little bit shorter than I expected. I expected this to be a little more personal. It had some good moments, but a quick MX pins Rocky 1, 2, 3. Bushi ends up with 10 points. He's not going to win the block. And if he hadn't lost, I think 3 matches in a row or something like that, he probably would be in the running. Hell, if he had only lost 2 matches in a row, he would be at 12, so he would actually be right there. It wasn't a bad match, but it was almost, maybe it's because my expectations were a bit high for like how personal this would be. And then we get Ospreay versus Doki. Taichi's on commentary for the majority of this, by the way, of like a couple matches before. Doki tries attacking before the bell. Ospreay dives. Of course, Doki goes with the groundwork as you would expect. Even though he can do some high flying, he's more of a brawler. There was a nice triangle choke by Doki. Some very close near falls. Taichi does try distracting the pipe usage, but that ends up, 1-2. Ospreay kicks out. Ospreay has the young lion. He yells at the young lions to hold Taichi back. He hits a hidden blade elbow. Just beautiful move. Stormbreaker 1, 2, 3. This match was, I hate to say it's probably the weakest of the Ospreay matches of the tournament. It's not on Ospreay. It's not on Doki. I don't mind shenanigans, but sometimes I just don't think this works as well as they would like. But it was okay. It was okay. It was decent. It was okay to decent. Nothing great though. We then get ELP versus Taguchi. This is where things surprised me. Besides a good mat wrestling comedy, including like low blows and Taguchi laying on the ropes and having his balls focused on for a while, as you would expect. In a Taguchi match, you're gonna have some comedy, but when he wants to turn it up and actually do some shit, he can do some really good shit. Really good dive by Taguchi. Moonsault outside, but ELP hurt his knee. That looked pretty fucking deadly. Pretty fucking dead. Now, I don't know if he was selling or what. Looked like it might have been legit. So hopefully ELP El Phantasmo is okay. Missed frog splash though soon after. And Taguchi just kept going for the ankle, going for the ankle, and eventually would get the ankle lock on, hit the elbow into the ankle, and then just hammer down on it. And ELP taps out. So we are getting Shingo and Ishimori in the A block finals, and we're getting Ospreay and Taguchi in the B block finals, which is a rematch of, I believe, the 2016 Best of Super Juniors, which Ospreay won, his very first Best of Super Juniors. At least that's according to commentary. And I mean, I have to look back in history, but according to commentary, that's when it was. And that was fun. A couple matches might be on my favorite tournament matches of, on my favorite of the tournament list. And this was certainly better than Night 11, which I was a little critical on, but just nothing popped to me. So anyway, that's what I have to say. And I'm going to say, I'll say B. Because I like the fact that Taguchi and Ospreay are going to face off and they got some history there and everything. And there were some good moments with it. And everybody's gotten a chance to shine. So anyway, that's what I have to say. Agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.